That was an episode of Game of Thrones, Season 8, Episode 5. Wow. At the beginning of the episode, we see very early on, Tyrion tells Daenerys about everyone basically knowing that Jon Snow is a Targaryen. He's the rightful heir to the throne. And her reaction to this was very interesting. She seemed more upset with Tyrion, which, look, I know that he found out from Sansa, and Daenerys is very weary of Sansa, doesn't trust her, and so she's probably just cautious of everyone around her. And yes, she had Lord Varys killed, and I guess that makes sense, although viciously burning him to death from your dragon is pretty brutal. But I guess that was a sign of things to come throughout this episode. Daenerys was starting to scare me here. I mean, I know she was heading down this path anyways. She has become very power hungry. She has been obsessed with the throne. But to see her talk to Tyrion like this, to see how quick she is to threaten him, there's a moment where she threatens him and says, basically, if you F up again, it will be your last mistake. And I don't want to see her have Tyrion killed. And then the moment when she goes up to Jon and talks about how Sansa betrayed him and told the secret. And I can't tell if she really is in love with Jon, because deep down I would think no, that she's just trying to get Jon on her side so that he never wants to overtake her and take the throne. But at the same time, when she was trying to kiss him, when she was trying to be romantic with him, she did seem a little sincere, and she seemed offended when Jon wasn't as into kissing her as he used to be. I know she's his aunt. I know they're blood related, but come on, Jon. It's Daenerys. She's too hot for you to turn down. I know, gross. Tyrion freed Jaime Lannister. And this was a surprise, especially because this came right after Daenerys warned Tyrion about making another mistake. He let Jaime go, obviously, to pay him back for when Jaime let him free at the end of, I believe, season 4 when Tyrion killed their father. But I did like this. I liked the callback. I liked the wraparound for their story. But I also like the fact that Tyrion got emotional. Some of the best acting Peter Dinklage has had on this show, and him just confessing to Jaime about how he owes him everything, how he wouldn't have survived his childhood. Just it was so good to see these two characters embrace and have that bond. Daenerys and her dragon burn everything down. This was brutal. I know at the beginning you saw Jon Snow and the soldiers go up against the other fighters and they were doing what they had to do. This makes sense. It's war, of course. But when Cersei's soldiers, when her men gave up, when they dropped their swords, they basically said, all right, we surrender. We're done. We're not going to survive this. And then the bells rang, which signified that they gave up and that it was over. Daenerys, I guess, said, F that. I want blood. I want a barbecue. I don't know exactly what she was going for. She is so blood hungry at this point, and this is why she scares me. It scares me because she's at the point where maybe she gets too much satisfaction from killing people, or maybe it's because she hates Cersei or hates everything that this kingdom stands for, that she just wanted to see it burn to the ground. Again, I get it. I do. Cersei, the Lannisters themselves are horrible people. They are a horrible family. It's easy to forget how horrible they were and the things that they've done, because I've grown to maybe appreciate Cersei, might be the right word. Obviously, the shame stuff and her being enslaved might be a big part of it. Her being pregnant might also have something to do with it. She should have just given up when she had the chance a couple episodes ago. And truth be told, they did kill Daenerys' best friend, her right hand woman. I know why she wanted blood. I know why she wanted to kill them. I just felt bad. I felt so bad for the people, the innocent people in this town who are running for their lives. They're desperate. They're panicking. And then we saw so many of them burn alive and just be engulfed in flames. I was sad. I was upset to watch all of this. Jon Snow, when his soldiers just ran forward and started killing those people, even though they gave up, and he was upset and he was trying to stop his own men, but then had to defend himself when the other side started to fight him. It was so disconcerting. It was so upsetting in a lot of ways to watch. You're seeing a character like Daenerys, who I know she's been through some crap. I know she's been enslaved herself. She's been raped. She's been tortured. I get it. But she is letting this get to her head. She's letting herself become engrossed in evil. To be honest, she's not too far off from what Cersei became, and I'm nervous. I'm nervous to see the next episode and what's to come of Daenerys, her and this dragon. Just so much fire, so much destruction. And we did get something pretty cool. We saw the Hound show up and fight his brother, the Mountain. This is something that I almost forgot was supposed to happen. Even in the episode when they fought the White Walkers, and in that episode, I thought the Hound was going to die there. And then I heard some people say, oh no, he has to fight his brother. We're building towards that. And I thought, oh yeah. So yes, this was a pretty cool fight. The Mountain being the zombie version of himself, yeah, that made him unstoppable. That made him almost emotionless. I kind of would have liked to have seen the Hound fight the human version of the Mountain, because when the Mountain was a human, he was an unmovable force just like that. I did like the callback of when he started to dig his fingers into the Hound's face, callback to that shocking death in season 4. The Hound held his own, though. It does seem like he possibly could have won if the Mountain wasn't already undead. I did like, too, before the fight, when the Mountain, he didn't say anything. He just looked at his brother and heard him get challenged, and then started to walk towards him. Cersei commanded him not to go. Even her right-hand dude said, listen to your queen, and he just got thrown and killed quickly. And I loved it. I loved that the Mountain this is what he wanted to do. This was his own thing, his own vendetta of sorts. And so the two of them went at it. And the Hound, if he was going to die, I guess this is the most honorable, badass way for him to die. He took his brother down into the flames with him. Jaime Lannister, in his pursuit to reach Cersei, he ends up fighting Euron Greyjoy, which is a fight that I didn't even think about ever happening. I guess it makes sense because Euron was kind of Cersei's boy toy for the last few episodes. But this was pretty brutal because it almost looked like Euron was going to kill Jaime, and I was upset at first because I thought, really? We're going to kill Jaime like this? After all this buildup, after all this hype, after all of this, him trying to get to his sister, he's going to die before he gets there? Lame. Absolutely lame, but then he fights back. He does survive long enough to kill Euron. I did like that Euron, like, I'm not saying he's been my favorite character or anything like that, but he's so out of his mind. He's so kind of crazy that he was more glad to be able to get a possible fatal blow on Jaime and be the man that kills Jaime Lannister, more so than caring about his own death. Again, interesting character. I wish they gave him or did a lot more with him before killing him. Jaime does end up getting to Cersei, the two of them embracing. I'm conflicted on this because I thought that Jaime was going to kill Cersei, that he left Brienne and where he was because he knew that he had to stop her. He wanted to prevent all of this from happening, but no, he just wanted to get to her because he truly is in love with her. And I know that he is in love with her. I'm not saying that's surprising. I'm just surprising that he didn't try to kill her. There wasn't any conflict between them. He just went up to her They hugged. They embraced for a little bit. She acknowledged that he was bleeding and probably going to die. And so another part of me did like it because the two of them have the most effed up love story of almost any show I've ever watched. They're brother and sister, for God's sakes, but yet they do feel like two characters in love. There is a sense of poeticness that the two of them end up hugging as the ceilings and the rocks topple on top of them. Him calming her down about being afraid to die right before they do actually die. So, yes, it makes sense that this is their death, but also I thought there might have been a little bit more of a character growth for Jamie instead of reverting back to being the puppy dog in love with her. Arya has the best plot armor that I have ever seen of any character. I know some people were calling her Mary Sue. I know some people were saying that they didn't buy her being able to kill the Night King in that episode, but I was perfectly fine with that. I was more than fine with that. I loved it. And I did buy that all of these seasons of her being trained was building towards her doing that. This I like that she was in the middle of the fray. I like that she was witnessing how horrific this was, how she saw all of these innocent people, innocent families, even that one mother who saved her. So then she wanted to save her back, but then they all got engulfed in flames. I don't know how Arya survived those flames. I really don't. There were so many points where rocks were falling, fire was falling, and Arya just emerged with some dust on her, some ash on her. Look, I love Arya. I'm not saying she should have died. I'm just saying what an interesting predicament to put her in the middle of all this chaos, and yet she still survives. I do think that she is going to be one of the characters. Her, probably Jon now because of what he witnessed, and Sansa. I do think something's going to happen with the three of them. If Bran wants to do something to wake up from his coma or whatever he's in, maybe the Starks go after Daenerys. Maybe we do see in the final episode Daenerys dethroned, or maybe she wins at the end of all this. Who knows? So, guys, I really enjoyed this episode. Let me know in the comments below. What did you think of it? Did you think it was too brutal? Were you sad to see all of these people burn alive? Do you think Daenerys has gone too far? Who do you want to see sitting on that throne? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later.